Good day, my name is John Aurelia, and now we are here to discuss Chapter 18, Rizal in Madrid, 1890 to 1891. Early in August 1890, Rizal arrived in Madrid. He tried all legal means to seek justice for his family and the other Calamba tenants, but not to avail. Disappointment after disappointment filled on him until the cross he bore seems insupportable to carry. Failure to get justice for family. Upon arrived in Madrid, Rizal immediately sought the help of Filipino colony, the Association Hispania Filipina, and the liberal Spanish newspaper, in securing justice for the oppressed Calamba tenants, including his family, together with M.H. Del Pilar, who acted as his lawyer, and Dr. Dominador Gomez, secretary of the Association Hispano-Filipino. He called on the Ministry of Colonies in the order of protest the injustice committed by Governor General Valeriano Weyler and the Dominican against the Calamba folks. Nothing came out of Rizal's interview with Minister Fabi. From his brother-in-law Silvestre Ubaldo, he received a copy of the injunction order the Dominican against Francisco Rizal and other Calamba tenants. From his sister, Saturnina, he learned of the deportation of Pasiano, Antonio Lopez Silvestre, Tiong, and Dandoy to Mindanao. These unfortunate deportees were arrested in Calamba and were shipped out of Manila on September 6, 1890. He further learned from Saturnina later that their parents has been forcibly ejected. Again, he was disappointed, for this statesman merely gave his word of sympathy and nothing else. Blumentritt and Limentrist, hearing of his friend's plight, urged him to see Queen Regent Maria Cristina. Rizal eulogy to Panganiban. Barely had Rizal settled down in Madrid when he experienced another disappointment. This was the doleful news that his friend Jose Maria Panganiban, his talented co-worker in the propaganda movement, died in Barcelona on August 19, 1890 after a lingering illness. With a sorrowing heart, Rizal took up his pen and wrote a great eulogy to Panganiban. Duel with Antonio Luna. Towards the end of August 1890, Rizal attended a social reunion of the Filipinos in Madrid. As was customary in these reunions of passionate, wine was served. After drinking so many glasses, and guests become more loquacious, and the conversation flowed freely. One of them, Antonio Luna, became drunk. All that time, Luna was bitter because of his frustrated romance with Nelly Busted. Rizal heard him. His high sense of chivalry called not tolerate any slur against the honor of any woman. Friend to a duel, Rizal was a better pistol shot than Luna, but the latter was his superior as a swordman. Luna, as the challenge party, had the choice of weapon. Logically, he had to choose sword, in which case Rizal's life would be jeopardy. Fortunate, Luna, when become sober, realized that he had made a fool himself during his drunk state. He apologized for his bad remarks about the girls. Rizal immediately accepted his apology and the two became good friends again. Rizal challenged Ritana to duel. Rizal was by nature neither hot-tempered nor pugnacious, but when the honor of his people, family, women, or friend was burnished, he never hesitated to fight even if he were risking his own life. On the other occasion, he challenged another man to duel. Wenceslao I. Ritana, his bitter enemy of the pen. Ritana, a talented Spanish scholar, was then a press agent of the friars in Spain. He used to attack the Filipino, including Rizal, in various newspapers in Madrid and other cities in Spain. One day, he imprudently wrote an article in La Icopa, an anti-Filipino newspaper in Madrid, assisting the relatives and friends of Rizal had not paid their rent, so that they were ejected from their lands in Calamba by the Dominicans. His second had warned him that he had no chance whatsoever against Rizal on field of honor, for Rizal was superior in pistol and sword. He developed a great admiration for the latter, and the years afterwards he wrote the first book-length biography of the greatest Filipino hero, whose talents he recognized and whose martyrdom he glorified.
Infidelity of Leonor Rizal. In the autumn of 1890, Rizal was feeling bitter at so many disappointments he encountered in Madrid. One night, he and some friends attended a play in the Teatro Apollo, and there he lost his gold watch chain with a locket containing the picture of Leonor Rivera, his beloved sweetheart. The loss of the locket proved to be a bad omen. Early in December 1890, with the cold winds of winter sweeping across the shivering city, Rizal received a letter from Leonor announcing her coming marriage with an Englishman, the choice of her mother, and asking his forgiveness. This letter was a great blow to him. He was stunned, his eyes dimmed with tears, and his heart broke. Several agonizing weeks passed before he could confide to his best friend, Blumentritt. In his reply to Rizal, dated February 15, 1891, Blumentritt consoled him. 3 months later, Blumentritt sent another comforting letter saying, "I am grieved with all my heart that you have lost a girl to whom you were engaged. But if she was able to renounce her Rizal, she did not possess the noble love." 3 months later, Blumentritt sent another comforting letter saying, "I am grieved with all my heart that you have lost the girl to whom you were engaged. But if she was able to renounce her Rizal, she did not possess the nobility of your spirit. She is like a child who casts away a diamond to seize of her gold. In other words, she is not the woman for Rizal." Rizal del Pilar rivalry. Toward the closing days of 1890, there arose an unfortunate rivalry between Rizal and Marcelo H. del Pilar, to supremacy. Rizal, the most talented Filipino of his time, was until the leader of the Filipinos in Europe. However, his influence declined because he had no patience with his more privileged casinos, especially those who had wine, women, and cards. On New Year's Day in 1891, the Filipinos of Madrid met to reorganize the association Hispano-Filipina and to elect a new leader who would act as the spokesman of the Filipino cause in Europe. Filipinos were divided into two rival camps, the Rizalistas and Fidelistas. The Rizalistas, or friends of Rizal, worked hard for Rizal's election as leader, while the Fidelistas, or friends of Del Pilar, fought for Del Pilar's election. Both candidates wanted to withdraw for the sake of unity, but their fanatical followers would not allow them to do so. Feelings ran high during the balloting. On the first balloting, either candidate failed to gain more than necessary two-thirds votes for election. A second vote was taken the next day with the same result. Rizal counted the votes. Thereupon, he said, in his favor, which were 19, "Good. I see that I have only 19 friends in the colony. Farewell, senores. I'm going to pack my bags until we meet again." He took his hat and walked out, his compatriots fearing that he meant what he said, at once elected him. Mariano Ponce, Antonio Luna, Teodoro Santico, and others who were Filaristas changed their votes in favor for Rizal, but it was too late. Rizal really meant what he said. His presence in Madrid only served to split the Filipinos. Hence, he thought it better for the cause to depart Del Pilar without a rival in Madrid. Back to Rizal. Disgusted by the turn of events in Madrid, Rizal indeed packed up his bags and left the city. He was an embittered man in February 1890 as he wiped off the dust of Madrid from his feet. Never again would he see this metropolis of Spain, where he had experienced both sweet and bitter memories. He proceeded to Beatriz, where he was a welcome guest of the Boston at Villa Eliada. In search of solace from his broken heart, he proposed marriage to Adelina Boston. As stated in a previous chapter, his marital proposal did not prosper. After a brief vacation in Biarritz, he went to Paris staying with his friend Valentin Ventura. From his French capital, he wrote to Sir Maria Bassa on April 4, 1891, expressing his wish to live in Hong Kong and practice medicine. Bassa was glad to have him come to Hong Kong and was even willing to advance him passage money. However, by the middle of April, Rizal, instead of going to Hong Kong, returned to Brussels. One thing made him go back to his Belgian city to finish his second novel. Of course, Suzanne Jacobi, the Belgian girl who loved him, and Jose Alejandrino, his roommate, were glad to see him.